بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to carry on our reflections on Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. We reached this section. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa alih wa saddidni li'an u'arida man ghashani bin nush. After salawat, which is repeated every few sentences, we have new salawat because of the significance of salawat and the increase of the chance of being accepted. Our dua has been accepted. We start and end with salawat. Then we say wasaddidni. Saddidni means make me firm, give me firmness. Sadad means firmness. We have in the dua of Imam al-Zaman, wasaddid al-sinatana bis-sawab wal-hikmah. So it's from the same thing. Or Amir al-Mu'minin said, a'inuni biwara'in wajtihad wa'iffatin wasadad. So saddidni means make me firm. But firm is different from being harsh. Those who are harsh are actually not firm because they are very much likely to be forced by realities of life to change. You can be firm and soft, but harshness is different. So I want to be firm so that I am not carried away by pressures, by emotions. To do what? لأن أعارض من غشني بالنصح, so that I can respond to the people who have not been honest with me. They have not wanted best for me. Ghasha means not to want good. When you deceive, for example, one of the things we have in the fiqh about transactions is if in a transaction there is deception. This is called ghish fil mu'amala. That mu'amala can sometimes become, void, or at least the other party has the right of cancellation. Khiyarul, qabl. In any case, we ask Allah to enable us to react, to respond to the people who didn't want the best for us by being able to want the best for them. And nush. Nush means to wish good for someone. And nasiha, although we translate it sometimes as giving advice, but initially means to wish good for someone. And you give advice because you want good for them. So we don't want to do as a counter action the same thing that they have done to us. If they have done bad to us, we want to do good to them because this is Makarim al-Akhlaq. And this needs firmness. But if you manage to do this, you would have a stability. Your relations will improve. You would have success. وَأَجْزِيَ مَنْ هَجَرَنِي بِالْبِرِّ. And also to recompensate, to reward, recompensate those who have left me, abandoned me with kindness. Bilbir. So if my family members, my friends, my colleagues, community members, if they have left me, I don't want to leave them. I want to be kind to them. If they made a mistake knowingly or unknowingly, I shouldn't do the same mistake. Again, you see, this is Makarim al-Akhlaq. You are operating above level of reciprocity. Yeah? وَأُثِيبَ من حرمني بالبذل, and reward those who have deprived me by giving to them. They made me mahroom, deprived me, but I want to do badl. Badl means to give. Yes.
Can I ask, so is the person making this dua, I'm asking God, reward him who deprives me?
No,
or
I want.
So I want God to make me to reward him
Yes.
with free giving.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I want God to give me firmness so that I reward someone who has deprived me by giving. Okay?
Excellent. This is always the point I was not understanding.
Yeah.
Every time I read this, I wasn't sure how.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, for me to give them free giving.
Yes. And this would also involve not reminding them, because sometimes someone didn't give me and I want to give him to make him feel embarrassed, or to, tell him, you remember you didn't give me, but I give you. This is not good. It has to be with kindness, not to make that person feel embarrassed. So if he says, I am very sorry, when you needed, I didn't help you, say, no, that's fine. You had problems. You had, lots of, excuse you can bring to that person so that he doesn't feel or she doesn't feel embarrassed. Because in the end of the day, what is important is honor of people should be preserved. If you give them but you damage your honor, it's not good. Okay? So the whole thing, the underlying principle is to treat people with maximum honor. An honorable person who extends honor to other people. This is the whole principle of Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. وَأُكَافِئَ مَنْ قَطَعَنِي بِالصِّلَةِ, and again to recompensate those who have disconnected from me with connection. Silay rahim and qat'ur rahim. So if there are people who didn't observe kinship, who didn't observe the relation, it starts with the family members, but it can be also among friends. It can be between teacher and students. It can be between colleagues. But initially it's for rahim, for relatives. Yes.
Imam Ali says, don't chase after him who avoids you.
No, that's different. Sometimes people are lazy or, not very much determined to observe kinship or, for little excuses. But it's not that they don't want us to see them. Many people who are not that much committed to come and see you, if you see them, they might be happy. But sometimes there are people who don't want to see you. Then you have to measure. Is it better for the long-term relation that right now you leave them and then later reconnect, or you should not leave them right now? For example, maybe you have a child who doesn't want to see you because he's involved in something bad. He avoids you or she avoids you, but you shouldn't avoid them because this will damage. But sometimes there are people who are in a turmoil, and right now maybe it's better to leave them and later to reconnect. But the main principle is that as much as possible you keep the connections. Connecting people and being in connection with people is a great tool for any successful social life. Yeah? It's like, maybe I can mention this example. When you make fence, okay? So suppose you have a 100-meter fence, or on the road, sometimes, on the side of the road there are what you call guardrail, rail, or what you call guardrail.
I'm not sure, like railings, you mean?
Yeah.
You know, something they put on the side if there is a yes.
Okay.
So
Grills.
yes.
Yeah, grills, so that you don't. They're bumpy.
No.
Oh no.
There is like a guard. There's like a fence, a special fence, so that cars, if they forget, you know,
Yeah.
they don't just go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Barrier, divider.
Yes. So, if you make each of them, for example, every few meters independent, next to it independent, this is not that strong. If something with, you know, some power hits, it can collapse. But when you connect them and you have a 100-meter of fence connected, or you have, you know, kilometers of these guards connected, then even if a lorry hits it, cannot, you know, damage it or cannot, you know, break it completely. So human beings are like this. If we are connected with each other, we become strong. But if we are separated from each other, every little person, every single person can be attacked by one little thing and collapse. So connection is very important. Another example is like if you have kind folk of animals, for example, cattle, and if wolf comes, if there is one animal, it's easier, but if it's group, yeah. So وأخالف من اغتابني إلى حسن الذكر, and also to do something opposite to the people who have backbited me, and that is by mentioning them in good way. Okay? So if someone has done ghaiba of you, you shouldn't do also ghaiba of him, or na'udhu billah, even sometimes go further and do tuhma. Yeah, ghaiba is to mention something which is true. Tuhma is to say something which is false. But we should not do ghaiba or tuhma. We should try to mention good things about them. وَأُخَالِفَ مَنِ اغْتَابَنِي إِلَى حُسْنِ الذِّكْرِ. You know, something very important to remember is that whenever someone does something immoral to you, okay, you should not do the same immoral thing back. If someone has put, like, you know, for example, his hand in dirt and has thrown towards you, you shouldn't put your hand in dirt and throw at him, because you are again making yourself dirty. Yeah? So when people do something immoral, it's very, you know, very much, you know, painful, and it hurts you, and, you know, it's very difficult. But you should do that. If you repeat what they have done, you are damaging yourself more. وَأَنْ أَشْكُرَ الْحَسَنَةِ وَأُغْضِيَ عَنِ السَّيِّئَةِ. Please help me to be grateful for good things which are done to me. If someone has done something good for me, I should be grateful. A mu'min is very grateful. Even if you have done something for a mu'min many years ago, whenever he meets you, he thanks you. And in his heart, he's always appreciative. But unfortunately, there are people that they easily forget. They take things for granted. On the other hand, mu'min is able to close his eyes about bad things that people have done. أُغْضِيَ عَنِ السَّيِّئَةِ. To close my eyes, to overlook bad things that have been committed against me. But people are sometimes opposite. they never forget bad things which are done to them, but they easily forget good things which are done to them. Yeah? You know, we have to remember this point in our social life, that our relations are very unlikely to be perfect. We are not perfect, and we are not living with the people who are perfect. Okay? So for sure, we will wrong each other. For sure, we will have problems. So what do you want to do? Do you want to keep reminding yourselves of the negativities, or you want to remind yourself of the positive things and try to, as much as possible, forget negativities? Yeah? So, for example, husband and wife. Each of them have positive points and negative points. But if you want to have successful marriage, each of you should try to remember as much as possible positive points, and as much as possible forget negative points. Not that you go to a world of illusion. No, you don't want to deceive yourself. But this is a tactic for bringing balance. Because unfortunately, negative things by nature, they are more pressing themselves. You know, they come more to the front. I don't know if you have listened to my lecture in Canada about negativities. So I had a lecture in retreat recently, and I mentioned that why we tend to pay attention to negative things and to changes and to differences more. This is part of the way our mind works, which in itself is not bad, but you have to be careful to train your mind. Otherwise, you only remain in that level. So, if you want to have successful family life, social life, you have to learn how to be appreciative of good things and how to be able to overlook some of the bad things. Okay? This is the way you do with the people that you love. What do you do with your children? What do you do with your blood brother and sister? Yeah? You don't keep remembering their bad things. You take it easy because you know that they are part of your blood. You love them, and you know they don't want to harm you intentionally, even if they are not very good. Yeah? Yes. Just I finished this. You know, if there is a beautiful flower, beautiful, and it smells well, but has thorns, what do? You don't throw it away. You keep it, but you try to not approach the thorns. So you benefit from the beauty, from the fragrance, but you are careful about the thorns. Treat every person like a beautiful flower with fragrance, but might have thorns. Yes. Question?
What if you discover somebody close is, for example, compulsively lies?
Yes.
So you try to ignore it, you try to look at all the good qualities, but this is a very problematic thing if it's a child or a spouse. If you're saying just overlook, this can cause a lot of problems.
I said, to the extent that you don't live in your illusion. So if this person has a problem which is very deeply built, you know, it's a kind of systematic problem, then you try to remember positive points. That's still true, but try also to find a solution. But solution would not involve forgetting positive points and just focusing on the bad points. Sometimes, maybe actually, if this person has a good quality, by encouraging him to invest more on that good quality, he can get rid of this problem. So, we don't want to be deceiving ourselves. We don't want to ignore problems or what we can do to improve other people. But what I'm saying is that because we tend to pay more attention to the problems and negative points, we need to go a little bit out of our way to think about positive points so that we would have the balance. And if they are done unintentionally, you can ignore. If they are done intentionally, systematically, you try to find, but not a kind of way to defeat them, a kind of way to help them. Sometimes I have a person that is troubling me and I want to defeat him. Sometimes I have a person who troubles me and I want to help him get rid of this. These are two different approaches. It's a kind of therapy, a kind of healing. Because if you want just to defeat that person, then you become enemy of that person. But if you want to help him get rid of this, then you become a friend. It's different.
But what if you're not capable of coping with that situation? You maybe want to treat them, but you can't. And being in it is very difficult.
Yeah.
To be with somebody who's affecting it. If it's a friend, it's different. But when it's a close family member, their whole lifestyle that revolves around their lying can then be affecting you a lot. And you feel it's better to be away from it rather than,
As a friend, you should come to this conclusion, not as an enemy.
Yeah.
Sometimes a doctor finds that now he should keep away from this ill person because his illness is not going to be solved and it can spread. But as a loving doctor, not as an enemy, you should never let anyone turn you into enemy. Because enemy is the one who just wants the destruction. Yeah, we shouldn't let people make us their own enemies. Even if they are their enemies, we don't want to be. This is why I think, although Shaitan is enemy of Allah and people, Allah is not enemy of Shaitan. Yeah, Rasulullah was not enemy of anyone. You may say enmity is mutual, but it's not really mutual in an equal way. Yeah? Yazid was an enemy of Imam Hussein, but was Imam Hussein enemy of Yazid? Did Imam Hussein wish bad for Yazid? I don't think he wished bad. He wanted the best for him. If he was, happy to change, Imam would have done everything possible for him to help him. But if it's enemy, just enemy, you just want to get rid of your enemy.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't ever have enemies. Other people might consider us their enemy, but we should.
We may have enemies because this is their choice.
Oh, sorry, the other way around. So we should never be anybody's enemy.
Yes.
But other people might want us to be there.
So even people show enmity to you, you shouldn't show enmity to people.
Yeah.
Never become enemy of anyone.
Yeah, and that all these previous verses you were saying about reconciling,
yes, all fall under that.
Yeah, so compensate them. If they're turning away from you, bring them back. If they're showing you abandonment or neglect, or bring them back through your kindness.
Yes.
And all of that should be done through steadfastness. Make me steadfast or firm enough to be able to recognize this is happening and bring them back.
Yeah, we have this hadith. Al-mu'minu kal-jabal al-rasikh. Mu'min is like a strong mountain. La tuharrikuhu al-awasif. Storms cannot move mu'min. Okay? So, this firm mountain is not from rock. This is firm mountain of knowledge, of love, of wisdom, of patience. So, when people are near such a huge reserve of love and patience and wisdom and knowledge, what would they receive from this person? They would only receive positive things. Yeah? But if they want to hit mountain, they will hurt themselves. It's not that the mountain is hitting them. Do you understand? So, sometimes, I say it's like, for example, you are like a strong wall. People come and they hit you, punch you, but because you are strong, they get injured. They get killed. They can say you have done to them, but in reality, you didn't do this to them. They have done this to themselves. Okay? Yeah. So a mu'min should be always a source of love, mercy, knowledge, patience, and hope. Hope is very important.
And so Sister Zainab is saying, what about when it's so difficult for the family member, someone close, who's lying, and we can't, what did you say? You can't continue to be there for them, or you can't continue to engage with them?
Because they affect the family so much by this not telling the truth, and you don't know where you are with them, and when you come to realise it, but maybe it's like you're saying, and you don't react to it.
So your reaction should not be emotional, and should not be in a sense personal. So if another person is asked for advice, what would that person who is not partial, who is not involved, would give you as advice? Would that impartial person also say you should leave, or would say, no, I don't see this problem is that big? So what I'm saying is that you have to be so much firm that you would not make decisions because of pressures. You make decision when you have a very strong reason, which if you present it to other rational people, they would say, yes, this is the best decision.
Maybe that being firm, you can in some way ignore it, if you're aware of it.
Yes, if it's possible to ignore. But if it is something that is going to continue and to spread and affect innocent people, sometimes we may need to make another decision, but all with firmness, with rationality, with wisdom. We are all with lots of emotions, which are very important. But when it comes to making decisions, we should just be rational. Emotions should not get involved. Yeah? Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alih wa hallini bihiliyati salihin. Oh Allah, please decorate me with the decoration of the righteous people, or give me the helia. Helia is a dress. Yeah, helia is zina, dress, decoration, adornment. This is, I think, important, that not only you should have deep in yourself good qualities, but also your appearance should be appearance of righteous people. Do you know what's the significance of having righteous appearance? There are lots of benefits for that. First of all, you would be acting as a reminder for other people. Yeah? If I appear in the public as a righteous person appears, then it would remind people of righteousness. Plus, when you appear as a righteous person, bad people don't come to you. Yeah? It's like, for example, if a woman with very decent dress and akhlaq and haya goes to public, bad people don't go near her. Yeah? The Quran says, ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَنْ يُعْرَفْنَ فَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ. One of the philosophies of hijab is that they would be known so they are not annoyed, they are not hurt. So, if I go with a righteous appearance outside, bad people go away from me. But if I go with a bad appearance, like, appearance of sinful people, or, ill-minded people, ill-hearted people, then I attract bad people towards me. So I have problem, but then they add to my problems. They will deceive me. So it's very important to have appearance of righteous people, but to also albisni zinat al-muttaqin. Please also put on me the adornment of muttaqin, those who are pious. And this one, as you will see, it's not only a matter of dress or hair. These are very important actions. So it's a beauty of inside. So we need to have good appearance, but also good inner self, beautiful inner self. Bastel adl. One of the things that is beauty of the inner self is to spread justice, to be an instrument for justice. You don't do zulm, you also help justice to be spread. وَكَظْمِ الْغَيْظِ, to suppress anger. Angry people are not beautiful in their self, in their inner self. Yeah? I don't think anyone would be attracted to angry people. Automatically, we are taking distance from angry people. وَإِطْفَاءٍ نَائِرَةٍ, and to extinguish fire. What type of fire is this? This is not physical fire. This is fire of enmity, fire of hatred, fire of suspicion. Yeah? So I want to be able to have this beautiful quality of extinguishing fire of enmity and hatred and suspicion. وَضَمِّ أَهْلِ الْفُرْقَةِ, and bring close to each other those who are divided and separated. Some translations say those who are divisive. I don't think it's those who are divisive. I think it means those who are divided. So you want to bring together the hearts of people who are divided, to reconcile. Especially the next one says, إِصْلَاحِ ذَاتِ الْبَيْنِ, to reconcile. So we shouldn't be, na'udhu billah, dividing. Rather, we should be uniting people. وَإِفْشَاءِ الْعَارِفَةِ, we should disclose, spread good things. Unfortunately, good news doesn't get good publicity. Yeah, bad news is the news and they spread. Good news, unfortunately, I was saying a few days ago in Italy, we were talking with some people about this issue of good news and bad news, and I said, if tens of Muslim imams and priests have very nice gathering, discuss together, very respectfully, it doesn't come to the news. But if one imam and one priest start fighting, it comes to the news. People who do good, it's not easy to get publicity. People who do bad get publicity. And if you are extremist, not only you get free publicity, but actually they show you more than you are. So they promote you. So if you have done this much bad, they say this person has done this much bad. So this is what they want. Because those people want to, for example, if they have managed to kill 10 people and you say they have killed 20 people, they become happier because these are people who want to terrorize people. So if someone is extremist, receives free publicity plus promotion. But if you are peace building people, if you are reconciling, if you are doing charity work, some media have no interest. But we should not be like that. We should be an instrument for communicating good news, relaying good news. وَسَتْرِ الْعَائِبَةِ, and to cover deficiencies and problems as much as possible. Of course, not 100%. Sometimes we have to make a measure to stop something, but as much as possible, cover bad things that people have done. Okay? This is not about the judge or the court or judiciary system. That's different. But this is about our personal life. If I know someone has done something wrong, I shouldn't disclose it. I should try to respect the honor of that person. Walin al-arika, to be lenient, to be gentle. Wa khafd al-janah, to lower your wing, means to be humble and caring. Khafd al-janah. Wa husn al-sirah, good conduct. Wa sukun al-rih. Sukun al-rih means tranquility of wind. What does it mean? It means, according to some people, it means to be humble and not arrogant and proud. Humility is needed. وَطِيبِ الْمُخَالَقَةِ, to have good and pleasant relation, mixing with people with good and pleasant akhlaq. وَالسَّبْقِ إِلَى الْفَضِيلَةِ, to proceed towards fadila, virtues. Not only to have virtues, but what gives you beauty in yourself, in your inner self, is to be preceding, to be fast in moving towards virtues. وَإِيثَارِ التَّفَضُّلِ, and to prefer generosity and giving to keeping for yourself. If you are generous, it's beautiful. وَتَرْكِ التَّعْيِيرِ, and to stop blaming people. Blame is very painful to blame, someone. Maybe there are rare, exceptional cases that you need to mention someone's problems, But as much as possible, we should try to avoid blaming, because damages confidence of the person, damages your relation, and also it's very likely that you yourself also then would develop same problems. وَالْإِفْضَالِ عَلَى غَيْرِ الْمُسْتَحِقِ, this can be an addition to ta'yir, means وَتَرْكِ الْإِفْضَالِ, not to give to the people who don't deserve. Some people said to give to the people who don't deserve. It depends how you, interpret it. Basically, there are people that waste our resources if we give them. We shouldn't give them. So if we say تَرْكَ الْإِفْضَالِ عَلَى غَيْرِ الْمُسْتَحِقِ, not to give to people who don't deserve, means people who are rich but they are, for example, begging. People who are rich but they come and ask for help from you. It's better not to give them, so that you give it to the people who are really needy. This is if you interpret it in this way. But we can also say to be able to give to the people that I don't owe them. They don't deserve, but still I want to be generous. So you can interpret it in two ways. Is it clear? Not to give to those who don't have any need, in the sense that they are misusing, or to give to the people that they don't deserve, in the sense that I don't owe them, but still I want to help them because they have need.
Because if they're asking you, it means they have need. And we've been taught not to refuse somebody who extends their hand.
Yes. So, there are two types of people. People that you don't owe them, but they have need, genuine need, you give them. People you don't owe them, and they have no genuine need, and still they ask. Because this has become their job. They take money from this, from that, they don't work. This is not good to give them.
And the way
That's cheating.
The way I always interpreted it is, even if they're undeserving, you give them. Like the second interpretation you said?
Yes, so there are two interpretations, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, if they don't deserve, you give them, as long as it is reasonable. Not that they are lazy or cheating. Yeah? So, for example, there's a person that you know, he has millions of pounds in the bank, still sits on the corner of the road, you know. You don't give them, if you know that. وَالْقَوْلِ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنْ عَزَّ. One of the important qualities is to be able to tell the truth even if it is difficult. Sometimes telling the truth, it causes facade. That's different. You know, people think, unfortunately, that they should tell the truth even if it leads to bad consequences and damages relations, you know, leads to fitna and division. We should tell the truth. No. You should tell the truth when it is right, when it is serving the cause of the truth. And if it is difficult, still you should tell the truth. But if telling the truth is going to turn into a big division, a big fitna, a big facade, you shouldn't tell the truth. Sometimes we have to do taqiyya. Sometimes we have to keep things confidential, not to spread everything. وَاسْتِقْلَالِ الْخَيْرِ وَإِنْ كَثُرَ مِنْ قَوْلِي وَفِعْلِي. And to be able to count little the good in my action and word, even if they are abundant. Even if supposedly I have done many good things or I have said many good things, I should always count them little, yeah? Istiqlal means to count as little. But on the other hand, واستكثار الشر وإن قل من قولي وفعلي. And if I have said anything bad, or anything bad I have done, which was little, I should consider it a lot. Yeah? Because if you say, I said only a few bad things, or I did only few bad things, then you get, unfortunately, negative courage to carry on. You would not correct yourself. So when it comes to your good actions, try not to become proud. Try to, have very modest evaluation of your good actions. But when it comes to bad actions, try to be critical of yourself and not undermine them. Just one more sentence. وَأَكْمِلْ ذَلِكَ لِي بِالدَّوَامِ الطَّاعَةِ وَلُزُومِ الْجَمَاعَةِ وَرَفْضِ أَهْلِ الْبِدْعَةِ وَمُسْتَعْمِلِ الرَّأْيِ الْمُخْتَرَعِ. And please complete all this for me by few things. Because if I don't have these few things, those would not become complete. They can be incomplete. They can be abtar, they can have no good ending. I want to be perfected. These things be perfected by what? Dawam ta'ah. Continuous obedience. I don't want to have these and then na'udhu billah start sinning. I want to have continuous obedience, and also luzum al-jama'ah, to be always with mu'mineen, with the community, and to reject heretics and people who implement fabricated and heretical ideas. So to be with the community of the believers and to be disconnected from heretics, these are two important tactics for keeping you on the right path. Okay, then we enter into the next section. So, as you see, the main focus in this section is that no matter how many problems you have, no matter how people treat you, you should try to be in control of your actions and words and decisions, not to be driven by anger, rather to be driven by your deep commitment to bring good to the world, to bring peace to the world, to bring mercy to the world, to strengthen relations, to unite people. This is what a positive approach would involve. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give all these things that Imam has asked in dua and all other good things that Allah has in His knowledge, ask Him to give us and to all people who seek goodness. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.